Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And hit that thumbs up button for me and drop your comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts. A lot has happened today. It's a big Knicks news day, a lot of activity. There was a huge trade, in case you missed it somehow. As a Knicks fan, RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley were traded to the Toronto Raptors. Actually, let's move over here. You can see here, Knicks receive OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, and Malachi Flynn, and they send RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and the Detroit second-round pick, which is basically like the last first-round pick. So that was big news, but the main thing that happened was, sorry about that, here we go. Knicks went to Indiana. They lost 140-126. They hung in for a while. You know, this is the second game of a back-to-back, and they played very depleted without RJ and IQ. So that meant that basically it was Fournier and Deuce who filled in their role. Wasn't enough. It was going to be tough to beat this high-octane Pacers offense. Unless you kind of just match them, you know, and somehow figure out a way to slow them down, which the Knicks, they did okay. You know, that first quarter, you know, they were down by 5. It was 32-27, but then they had a nice second quarter. They scored 35 points on the Pacers then, but they did allow 32, so they went into the half down 64-62. But look, and the Knicks scored more in the second half in this game, but they gave up a lot more. They gave up 76 points in that second half, you know, for this final score, 140-126. No highlights tonight. This is probably going to be a shorter video. You know, I went live twice today. Did the pregame show with Jay Ellis and Lee Escobedo from the Nick of Time show, the Nick of Time channel. It was a great discussion, you know, a lot of back and forth about the merits of the trade earlier. I mean, I kind of played the, you know, the contrarian role to kind of stimulate the conversation. Ultimately, you know, I just, it's hard to evaluate that trade fully until the next trade comes. It does feel like, to me, this is a part one. I know I keep saying that, and I keep saying it because if it's not, then I'm not a big fan of this trade, including IQ. I see the merits and the positive aspects of trading RJ for OG. Totally get that. But including IQ in this package really hurts. And in some ways, I think he's really the main get for Masai Ujiri. As I explained in those other shows, you know, it's hard to find, you know, really top level quality point guards. And the Knicks were able to do it, you know, 2 summers ago when they landed Jalen Brunson, and he's turned out to be fabulous, especially offensively. He's just amazing. Definitely, guys, continue to vote for him for All-Star. He deserves it, though he's had a rough road trip, a rough couple of games recently. It's going to happen. The guy is constantly on the floor. He gets beat up a lot. He hasn't been getting the calls. I was able to watch. Well, actually, I caught it during the broadcast. They showed Thibs' post-game after the Magic game, where he was basically, you know, ripping the refs about how much abuse Brunson takes, and he doesn't get the calls. So that it worries. You know, his durability is a concern for me in general. But somehow he's always able to bounce back. I think he's going to bounce back after this little rough stretch. He's going to be fine. Julius, you know, Julius went up against Obi tonight. Yeah, very interesting. Before I get to that, this was just tweeted out. I believe just as I was prepping for this. Actually, JD sent me this. New York Knicks guard Miles McBride has agreed on a 3-year, $13 million contract extension. So this is according to Priority Sports. They told ESPN McBride was the 36th overall pick in the 2021 draft. I'm a big Deuce fan, in a lot of ways, I feel he's been underutilized by Thibs. There's definitely situational moments that he could have been using him, and he hasn't in any meaningful way, even though he's the one who coined that phrase about situational. So, I feel like we hear a lot from Thibs, but we don't really see it actually, his words translate into actual action and decisions. Or if they do, they just take a very long time. His unwillingness to embrace the reality of the modern NBA game. Basically it's a three-point shooting game now. You got to shoot three. You have to. It's taken him a while, but he finally did. To me, he looks like he embraced it, began to really fully embrace it last season, and this year definitely he has. But he needs his defense to be a certain way. Even though drop coverage defense in today's NBA can be very costly against superior three-point shooting teams, which is what you're going to encounter as you play the better teams. So there might be a ceiling in terms of how far this team can go, unless Thibs, rejiggers his defensive scheme. And I think that's one of the reasons they got OG Anunoby, who is one of the top, defenders in the NBA. I don't know where to put him, but he ended up all defensive last season. He led the NBA in steals, and I love that. I love the steals that Donte's been giving us. We needed more of that. We were not a big steals team before, and partly that's because Thibs doesn't believe necessarily in that. He doesn't believe in gambling to try and get the steal because it puts you out of position defensively, and there's definitely merits to that viewpoint. But at the same time, you got to go for it, if it's there, because that applies pressure on the offense, and it makes them kind of second guess the next time when they're coming down. So there's, pluses and minuses to all of this. At the end of the day, happy for Deuce. Big fan of his. Hopefully this means that he will be utilized. And actually, it might be an indicator that Malachi may be on the move after pretty soon. So we'll see. And Deuce will be the backup point guard to take over Quickly's role for that second unit. We shall see how this plays out. It's a lot of we shall see lately, guys. A lot of we shall see. You can tell I'm still stinging. It was interesting listening to Mike Breen, and I tweeted this out towards the end of the game. Listening to Mike Breen, which we're all so lucky to have him as our play-by-play guy. I've learned so much about the game from him, and guys in the past as well, but definitely from him. You can see he was struggling to even comment on the game tonight, and also discuss the RJ trade, the IQ trade, and OG. He was struggling. He's, I think he actually is going to miss RJ and IQ himself. He's trying to be professional, but that's kind of the vibe that I got. But being realistic, this is a business. There are numbers attached to the players at the end of the day, and there is a cap. So you do have to make moves, within that cap. It constrains you, and sometimes, the move isn't such a great move at the moment. It could become a better move later. I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out hope that OG comes here and just totally blows me away, and honestly makes me forget about RJ. That's really the hope there. The thing is, IQ, he's not going to replace IQ, so they have to find another guy somewhere, somehow. But maybe, as we talked about in the previous video, sorry I'm talking so much about that, not this game. The previous video, that it's possible that we go for a big move, like a Donovan Mitchell. DeJounte Murray doesn't feel like a big move, though. He would be a nice addition at the moment to this team. He'd give you a solid perimeter defender to put next to Brunson, and he could take the playmaking load off of him as well at times. He could be an interesting IQ type of replacement who could actually start next to Brunson because of his size. So we'll see. We'll see how we move forward tonight. Speaking of Deuce McBride, he did play 18 minutes, shot 2 of 3, hit one of his 2 3-pointers, finished with 5 points. Randall got off to a really good start, but then petered out. He did finish with 28 points, but they weren't really like an impactful 28 necessarily. Overall, let's see. He had 15 at the half. He was shooting 50% at the half overall, but only 4 rebounds at the half. He really picked it up in the second half. And he finished, what did he shoot in the second half? Second half, he shot 3 of 10 overall. Missed both of his 3-point attempts in the second half, but he did pick up 8 rebounds. But he also did pick up 3 turnovers in the second half, and he finished with 5 overall. These kind of things are, they're troublesome, especially when you go up against good teams, when you keep turning the ball over. Another, kind of subpar performance from Jalen Brunson. I think I mentioned it earlier. Tonight, 41 minutes, 9 of 12. He did match the 28 points that Randall put up. He finished, wait a second. Oh, yeah. We did shoot really well in this game. 4 of 8 overall. But 9 of 22 inside the arc, he struggled. He was only 5 of 14 inside the arc. So, that's a bit of a struggle there. 10 rebounds for Josh Hart. He started in place of RJ Barrett. 38 minutes for him. Gave us 10 points. And Donte Divincenzo, career night. 38 points for him. Fantastic. That's the way you come out after a big trade like this and you show your value to the team, to the franchise, to the NBA. And Donte Divincenzo comes through in 36 minutes, shoots 15 of 21. Outstanding for him. Outstanding. That means he shot 71.4% and almost 64% from the three-point line. Connected on 7 of 11. 6 rebounds for him, 2 assists, 4 steals for him. 4 steals for Isaiah Hartenstein as well. So really, really nice game for Donte, but he did end up a minus 17 in terms of plus minus. Let's see, Fournier. Fournier finally got some action. 17 minutes. It looked really rough in that first half. Let's see, how was he doing? He was 2 of 7 in that first half with just 6 points. Wait, did he even improve much? Not really. It was 1 of 3 in the second half. Played only 7.5 minutes. As you can tell, my voice is kind of like going. Obviously, been talking so much. I'm kind of sick of hearing myself. I'm sure you guys are too now. I hope the next time we talk, it's about a win. That's really what I would love to talk about. But the Knicks did shoot well from the three-point line, almost 46% from the three-point line. As I mentioned, the plus minus was pretty bad for Brunson, Hart, DiVincenzo, Gibson, and Fournier. Just all double-digit minus tonight. Even though Randall, with all the turnovers and everything, he was only a minus 6, which feels like a great game at this point, comparison-wise. Indiana Pacers. I'm sure you're wondering, Obi Toppin did not start. He's no longer a starter on the Pacers at the moment, though who knows, that might change, especially when you consider Jalen Smith in 21 minutes, 9 points. Obi did a very similar in 20 minutes, 9 points as well, but Obi got, I believe, 4 blocks? How many blocks did Obi get? Obi got 3 blocks. Obi got 3 blocks, and I believe those were all on Randall. Now, one of them, it went right back to Randall's hands, and he ended up scoring on that. But it was nice to see the back-and-forth battle between the two, the competitive nature, which they probably did that a lot in practice. So that was fun. And Obi, look, he gets 8 rebounds tonight. I think he's averaging, what's he averaging? Under 3 per game? So that was interesting. He just showed his rebounding ability. Maybe he's trying to prove to Thibs that he actually can rebound. That's one of his weakest parts of his game. And it's partly because of his style of play. He likes to leak out, tries to get behind the defense for those outlet passes, but it comes at the expense of rebounding. Though this year, Obi is averaging almost 6 rebounds a game. All right. But in less than 20 minutes a game, he's averaging 19.7 minutes per game. 5.8 rebounds, that's respectable. That's a respectable amount. Let's see, where else am I here? All right, let's keep moving forward. Man, Tyrese Halliburton. He had, I believe, 20 assists the previous game. Tonight he had 23 assists. The Pacers ended up with 40 assists as a team, and the Knicks ended up with, what did we end up with? 24. Minus 16 in assists. It's hard to win in the NBA. But we were hitting our shots, but still, you want to be sharing that ball. You want to get that ball around. Where we go back here? Miles Turner, big game for him. 31 minutes, 10 of 17, 6 of 8 from the three-point line. God, those guys can shoot. They shot almost 55% from the three-point line. They put up 42 attempts, connected on 23. Man, you're going to win a lot of games if you can shoot them like that. And they almost shot 60% overall. So they were finishing inside the arc as well. This team, when they're making their buckets, are a very tough team to deal with, even though they don't really play much defense at all. But their offense is so tremendous. I think they just depend on outscoring everybody every night. And so far, it's been working. They have a winning record. Where are they at right now? Let's see here. Let's see where the Pacers are right now. The Pacers are now 17-14, a half game in front of the Knicks. The Knicks are now in 8th place in the Eastern Conference with a 17-15 record. And the Pacers now just won their 3rd game in a row. They were actually at 500 at one point, so now they're at 17-14. Here are the team stats comparisons. We did out-rebound them, but 42 rebounds is not, it's fine. They only had 34, but really there weren't many rebounds to get. Both teams shot tremendously from the three-point line, and the Pacers were unbelievable inside the arc as well. Free throws, we went to the free throw line 27 times, but only connected on 19, 70.4%. That's not going to cut it. Steals, we got 12 steals. That was really nice. And I believe the steals were mostly, I mentioned before, it was Donte Divincenzo. Even Fournier ended up with 3 steals, and Isaiah Hartenstein ended up with 4 steals. And then Josh Hart rounds it out with 1, so that's 12 for them. So that was a nice stat there, nice hustle stat. Fast break points, Pacers won that. Points in the paint, Pacers just edged this out in that. The fouls were pretty much even. The points off turnovers, I believe, all right, that was not too dissimilar, 14-16. Though I think we were turning that ball over a lot in the first half. Let me just confirm. No, not really. No. Just seven turnovers in the first half. Interesting. So they got 7 in the second half. All right. So this deal. Well, Monday against the Timberwolves is what everyone assumes will be the first time OG will be seen in orange and blue with New York across his chest. He will be a Knick. I think we all should just embrace that and hope for the best. The same for Precious Achiuwa and Malachi Flynn. RJ and Emmanuel are now with Toronto. Again, can't say it enough. Wish them all the best of luck. Once a Knick, always a Knick. Always will cheer for them when they're not playing against New York. And I hope that when they do make an appearance in front of the MSG crowd, that they are met with love. Because that's how they played, with a love for the game. They played with a love for the city. They understood the difficulty of playing in New York, and they handled it with grace and professionalism, and we should as well, to reciprocate as a thank you for them. All right, guys, that's all I got. Exhausted. New Year's odd way to end 2023 with a lot of uncertainty. I hope that I'll be proven wrong. I gave this trade a B, but I really am leaning more towards a B minus. But also, I kind of want to give it an incomplete grade, because I feel like it's really just a part one of a bigger move that's going to really change things for this team. Thibs and Leon are on the clock. There's not much time left for them to make something happen with this current setup with Brunson and Randall. So I think that they should just swing for the fences. Go all in. If Donovan is there, go for it. right now we totally improved our size by adding Precious and OG Anunoby, and our defense in the first unit is been improved tremendously with Anunoby, and that guy can shoot the corner three. He's tremendous from the corner, shooting the three. He's almost a 40% 3-point shooter. He's a really good player overall. He's a good player to fit into this team, so I can see the appeal. It just still hurts to give up on our guys, but you got to improve. I just still think it was a mistake to include IQ in this trade, because I think he has a lot of value moving forward. Would have had a lot of value in a bigger trade. So hopefully Leon has it all worked out. There's a plan in place, and they're just waiting for some other dominoes to drop. Let's hope so. All right, thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and share this video. Share any of my videos that you enjoy. I really would appreciate that. Trying to get up to, right now, next goal is 8,000 subscribers. We're at 7,600, but I really would love to reach 10,000 by the end of the season. And who knows? If these trades work out, this could be an incredibly exciting season. Hoping. All right, I will see you around.